What is going on, YouTube? So this is going to be a new channel, little mini podcast talk show type thing, uh, where I basically just kind of talk about the transition out of college into the real world and kind of topics that may pertain to that transition of getting out of college, getting a job, what the real world is kind of bringing to a new grad. Yeah, so just I think it's just going to be a super authentic, raw, kind of one cut type of podcast. Just and just kind of an honest opinion of what it looks like from someone that is kind of freshly in this situation, right? So let's just kind of dive into it. So the first topic, like I said, is the post grad transition. Full transparency, like it's not an easy transition by any means. I think a lot of people go through it, but it's never really something that's like talked about unless you're really talking about like friends, family, significant others, whoever it may be. But yeah, it's not an easy transition because I guess speaking for myself, I went through undergrad and grad school at the same university. So for those 5+ years, I had built this lifestyle where my university was. And when it came to moving back home, it just wasn't easy. I'm gonna wholeheartedly admit, as a former college kid, I missed that going out, hanging with friends, having that schedule of kind of being able to do whatever I want whenever I want. Obviously, going to class, making grades, staying active, all that stuff. But yeah, it's a real reality check when you realize that all your boys, all your friends, all your people are now all across the country, and everyone's kind of moved on from that quote unquote college life. So I think one thing that I guess I would like to hopefully give on this video or this channel is maybe if somebody else is going through it, someone that just kind of has finally kind of gotten over the hump of that moving back home, that transition into no more college and into the real world. It takes time. That's the reality of it. It takes time. I was somebody that really wanted to just like push through that, fight through that feeling of, oh, it's whatever, it is what it is. But the truth of it is like you got to acknowledge like you had some serious skin in the game at whatever school you went to, and now you're coming back, whether it be home or you move somewhere for a job that's completely brand new. So you got to just acknowledge the fact that, yeah, it is a change, and that's all right. It's something that I think once you can admit and acknowledge that this is just going to be a road that you'll figure out. It's kind of a step-by-step road, day-by-day road. Because also, not only is the transition happening, but for a lot of us, you're job hunting as well through this transition. So that's a whole nother animal in and of itself. I truly believe that the job hunt and the interview process is like a full-time job in and of itself due to how time-consuming it is. And I myself am in that situation right now. I've moved home. I have gotten over that hump, but I am job searching. Like it's part of this this transition into this new chapter of life post-college. So I'll kind of jump back into that transition piece. I kind of went off the rails into the job aspect, but jumping back into the transition of it, I want to like kind of hopefully provide a couple of tips. If you're going through it, seeing this, maybe try this, maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. But I know the things that really worked for me was to really capitalize on creating a new routine early, um, like just coming home. And I think the one thing that I can't forget about that process is creating a new routine does also take time. So, as crummy as a process as it is, roll with the punches. Uh, Trust that everything will fall into place because it will. Um, just gotta be patient with yourself through the process. Be patient with everything that kind of comes with the process. Uh, yeah, so really, really focus on creating that new routine. For me, being back home, it's been chunk out a couple hours of the day, do job applications, keep my resume up to date, cover letters, uh, going for a run for a point of the day. If it's nice out, put some time into some fishing, and maybe read a little bit if the time if the time is offered. That is obviously a general routine that I've built. It obviously varies a little bit here and there with hanging out with friends and things like that. That's one thing too I would say is like, if you're a social person, don't eliminate the things that make you happy through the transition, because eliminating those essentials will make that transition more bearable. So yeah, I'm a very social person. I like to hang out with my friends and the good people I have around me, and that's very much helped the transition back home. This job transition piece, and yeah, so creating that new routine is crucial. And just another thing that like kind of might seem super simple but might be looked over is like, talk to your people. Lean on your people. If you got good friends, you got family around you, just chat with them. They're your big supporters at the end of the day. And I think that is a super looked over thing. Just lean on your people. They're going to be your biggest supporters. You obviously have to do the work at the end of the day to get through it, but they can very much be a huge help in the process. They can kind of help lift you up when things might seem a little dark, might seem a little unbearable at points. So I'd say that's the second thing. Don't forget to lean on your people. They're always going to have your back. They're always going to be there for you. They're always going to want the best for you. So never forget that. So the routine, leaning on your people, talking with your people. And another thing too, in this transition period of college to a job, or just transition in any point of life, this is like a really good opportunity too for you to just take care of yourself. Implement new habits to create like a healthier lifestyle. So for another example for me, I've really tried to start eating healthier. So that's been a whole new avenue in this time that I have started to kind of entertain. And there are going to be points where it feels like you're not doing enough. And then there's going to be points where you feel like you don't have a second to breathe because you're swamped with interviews. But it's important to capitalize on that time where it feels like might not be doing enough, even though you're doing everything you can, to, take some time for yourself too. Start that new hobby you want, whether it be eating healthier, starting to run, I don't know, go back to the gym. Heck, even something good that's in this transition time, get a part-time job too. Since I am in the process of getting full-time jobs, I'm very much entertaining part-time work as well. But yeah, so, I think that's my little spiel of kind of the transition. That's a very broad overview. And full transparency is very broad, just hopefully provided a couple of little tips that maybe, if you're going through it, you might be able to implement some of these. And if they work, I'm that's the whole point of this, is to help you out. If not, everyone's different. Everyone kind of finds their own coping mechanisms. Hopefully they're healthy. But give it a try. Experiment with things that might be a little foreign. Because for all you know, they could stick, and it could be an awesome hobby or habit to create that then carries on throughout the rest of your life. So that's kind of the topic of the day. If somebody hears this or catches this, and you want me to kind of dive deeper into a little bit more of either my own personal transition out of college and kind of what I went through, or just diving into some of those tips I gave, or just more tips into college to real world transition, let me know. You can either drop it in the comment or anything like that. So one thing I want to do that I think would be super unique is, I'm a big person on quotes. I love quotes. They kind of drive me in many different forms. They give me the drive to do different things. So I think one of the things that I want to introduce to this channel is, at the end of every episode or show, is read a quote and kind of say what it means to me. And I'd be curious to kind of the viewers what it would mean to you guys. So the first one that I have is, the quote is "Made it to midnight" from J.P. Hovey. And for those of you who don't know, J.P. Hovey is one of the main one of the people on Bussin' with the Boys. I'm a huge fan, so all the credit to him for this quote. And when I heard him talk about it, it definitely resonated with me, because the biggest thing is, especially going through this transition period, this grind of applications, this grind of interviews, there are points where it just gets frustrating. Feels like all hope is lost. And the whole concept of, when you see the clock hit midnight, you made it through the day, and you have a brand new day to start fresh. So I really gotta give so much credit to that, because even in the thick of it, it's really hard to kind of remember these things. But just also knowing that you made it to the end of the day, you busted your butt to do whatever you had to do. And I think it's good to recognize that. So huge shout out to JP Hovey for that quote. That's something that I heard it a couple months ago now. Stuck with me. Hence why I wrote it down. And that's something that I just want to preach to you guys as well. Again, do what you got to do, grind through the day. You've made it to midnight. You got it. You made it through the day, and you are now able to start fresh. Because another thing too is, you could have had a bad day, but you made it to midnight, and now your slate's clean for a great day to be had the next. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I think that is a big thing that we don't always think about. We kind of get so caught up in the weeds and the little details of man, this is going bad, can't see the light of day. Yeah, just keep remembering, keep your head up. You will get to the end of the day. You're gonna be good, and the next day will be great. You'll have a clean slate to kind of start over and do what you got to do the next day. So yeah, this is kind of the first episode. We'll see if it gains any traction. I'll try to post as much as I can. And yeah, if you guys think of anything cool or got any ideas, I'm super open to feedback. Obviously this is very low scale. Just shooting on my phone right now. maybe, like I said, if any traction gets built, maybe upgrade to some mics or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. And I will see you guys in the next Couch Talk. Peace out.